Hello? Hello, dudes? Hey, how's it going? Hey, what's up? Hey, hi, hello. We're gonna read petty stories. The pettiest that I can find. The pettiest that I can find. Hello. I'm just switching up the sub goal since we did hit the last one. Let's set up a new one. Dude, are we all excited about Empire Season 2? Did we all see all the different teases and whatnot that we have released? Have we all seen all of those? I have no spoilers or any more info for you. But I did show what my skin looks like for now without any of the additional custom textures and stuff that I will absolutely be getting. I have coffee, I have petty stories, and I have Reese's peanut butter cups. What more do I need? Let me set up a new goal. I think at the end of July is when I'm gonna do the next big subathon, possibly the 24-hour one. I think that's what I really want to make the goal of the next subathon is be the 24-hour one. Test my limits. That'll be at the end of next month because this month and halfway through next month, we have so many conventions. I don't know how much I'll be able to be live, so I'm definitely going to want to do a subathon when I'm back. But I'm about to be gone for VidCon for a few days, and then I'm heading over to the UK to wait, and I'll be able to stream up until TwitchCon Amsterdam happens, and then I'll be gone for those few days, and then I'll be back home again. Vlog. I haven't been a vlogger in a long time, and I'm not really much for filming when I'm out with friends, but maybe Amsterdam is a place that I do a vlog. Because that sounds like it'll be really, really fun. I don't know. Maybe that's one that we do. All right, setting up a new goal. Oh, I have it. Too many characters. There we go. Starting amount 0. Although, thank you to Kate, Mary, Liz, Brewery for the 100 bits. Thank you, other guys, for subscribing. Moleflower, Emerson, Rainy Weather Fox. Thank you guys for subbing. Now I'm setting up the new goal. So, boom. I don't know if you can read it because it's tiny, but it says I'll show you my cat and give her a little kiss for you. My cat, Star-Lord. I don't even actually know where she is right now. But let's hope we don't hit that goal right now because I'd have to go fishing for a cat. But let me get what we need up. Our petty stories. And then we'll carry on. I am going to be back in the UK. I figure it's a great little in-between period to go back and see my friends for a little bit and then go to Amsterdam from there. Did you all see Lizzie's video, Empires the Musical? Is it not so good? I can't believe she made little songs for the entire history of Empire Season 1. If you haven't watched it yet, you definitely should. Let me get Petty Revenge up. And everybody's getting their merch. It's finally been shipping. Lots of people have gotten it already. Tons of my mods. I don't know if all of the mods have gotten it yet, but I know loads of you have, and you've been DMing me the pictures of you guys looking so cute in it, and I'm so glad you like it. And I'm so glad you find it comfortable, because I'm not going to lie, this is the most comfortable merch I've ever made and ever had. And that's not even an exaggeration. The crew necks are literally so comfortable. That's why they're a little bit more pricey. But they are so good quality and will hopefully last a long time and only get comfier. So far, that's... Oh, I haven't shown you... Look at my shirt. Look at my shirt. Look at my puffy sleeves and my little collar. I'm just wearing it with jeans, but I'm thinking about switching it up and putting a skirt on, maybe? I'm testing out ideas for what I want my VidCon outfits to be. For the few the few days that I'm there, I'm trying to plan out ahead of time exactly what I'm going to wear for, the 3 or 4 days that I'm even seen, maybe. So I think I'm gonna wear this for one. I got a bunch of cute new shirts from this website online. Is my hand okay? I got attacked by my cat. I got attacked by my cat by accident while I was playing. VidCon outfits. One, I want to be comfortable. So I'm not interested in wearing clothes that aren't comfortable to wear. So all of the clothes that I buy, as cute as they are, also comfy. 2, why is this how I count to 2 now? It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be really, really hot. It's gonna be so hot. So I want to not be sweating in it either. And then 3 look cute. Those are my criteria. All right, let me start trying to pick and pull out some of the most petty of the petty stories on Petty Revenge. I want to get the ones that have like the most votes because it sounds like they'll probably be the ones that are the best to read. Oops, I didn't mean to delete your message, Corinna Collin. I meant to delete yours, Sir Goose. You're allowed to stay and hang out, but if you keep being weird, you're gonna go. You're gonna go. How did we all feel about MCC? Did we all have fun? I felt like it was one of the absolute most fun MCCs I've even ever played. And I'm pretty sure I say that every MCC. I'm pretty sure I say it literally every time. But it really was so fun. And it was so impressive how they had all of the like reward unlocks be able to be changed to whichever flag you want to represent, and you could mix and match them all. You weren't stuck to, if you wanted ace one thing, you had to have ace all the things. That was so cool. You didn't even play ace race. I know. And I no doubt would have placed at least two or 3 places higher, maybe. Ace race, I honestly, genuinely, I don't enjoy playing it anymore. My favorites are Hole in the Wall and Battle Box. And Build Battle. Build Mart is what I meant. Those are my favorites. They're the ones that are fun for me to play. I don't have fun playing Ace Race because I am not very good at it. And everyone else is so good at it. I got booted from playing Ace Race. And we had, our Build Mart team has the highest score for Build Mart for all of Season 2. Which is pretty darn cool. I think we are the ultimate Build Mart team in terms of like, now that we have the newer Build Mart. We did so good. I was so proud of my team. I was so proud of them, and they were so proud of themselves, and everyone was just so happy, even though, I mean, we placed so high, higher than we would have expected. Like, we were not even trying to win when we started, and all of our conversations before MCC actually happened. That wasn't our goal. But then as our team started placing higher and higher after every game, we were like, oh my God, we can actually, oh my God, the scores are so close, we could actually get up to like second or first. And if Build Mart was the last game we played, you better believe we would have been in Dodgeball. But I was so happy with the fact that even though we came in 4th, the whole team was so happy the whole time we were playing. And we didn't even start that strong. We just had good vibes the whole time. That's what I loved. Let's see. I like how people are very creative with how they title their petty revenge. It isn't like Am I the Asshole, where they try and lead you down, like they try to clickbait you with the title and make you think what's gonna happen, and then it's a complete 180, or they're wording it so that they don't sound like an asshole, and then you read the story and you're like, oh, it was you all along, the asshole. But with these ones, it's like they're titling an essay. This one's titled, I Guess I'm a Salty Bitch. I'm gonna read that one. This one takes a licking. Black pepper is a great tool. What is that about? We don't even have any idea. They're just clever little titles that they're naming their little short essays about why they were petty and for what reason. All right, let's start reading some of these and see. I don't know if I want to read the majorly long ones. Hello, I just heard the sneeze of a cat somewhere behind me. All right, this one's a pretty long one, but let's start with a nice juicy one. And it has a lot of votes on it, so we'll see. Hi, Scotch! I live for this. I'm so petty all the time. I'm here to validate people's petty stories. I'm here to read why you were petty, for what reason, and how much they deserved it. And the last one that we had read, they deserved it. Usually they deserve it. This is really nice because in Am I the Asshole? You lose faith in humanity a little bit because one, all of the issues between couples and families is an issue with communication and like just a toxic history. And no one knows how to fix their communication issues. And that just is ultimately the problem with everyone in all of the Am I the Assholes? And you're just sitting there like, everyone sucks. All of you guys suck. You all suck. You suck together. You suck separate. And none of you know how to communicate. But the petty stories. These are people that took matters into their own hands when they were wronged by somebody. And I respect it. Because I'm too much of a baby and non-confrontational to ever act on any of my petty thoughts and impulses. But these are people who did, and I have so much respect for them. Like a really tame Punisher? I don't know what that means. I don't know anything about the Punisher. Corinne Collins bringing it in for a hug. I don't know anything about the Punisher. I'm gonna nod. Gold Steps, thank you for subscribing. Babrory, thank you for the 100 bits. Be right back, Rory. That's how you say it. Okay, I got it. Katie, thank you for subscribing. Kate, actually, just Kate. I know if there's one thing I know about my audience, it's that I know there's a lot of Kates and Katies in here. Because there are multiple of you that have your name Kate and then different numbers. And then I know so many Katies that are in here. Shout out to all the Kates, Katies, and Caitlins in my chat. I know there's so many of you. Is it the most common name of your generation? Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of you, though. Okay. Here's our first long petty story. You try to look down on me, and I go even lower, is the title. To clarify, this takes place in Germany. This is great for us Americans who just assume all the stories are taking place in America, and usually they're not. I, female 31, had a very weird group of friends in high school. The if you have friends like this, you don't need enemies kind. I don't really know what that means. TMT Toxication, thank you for subscribing. Sidearms for Hokage, thank you for gifting a sub. That's a cool name. We are very self-centered. If you have friends like this, you don't need enemies kind. I don't know what that means. I've never heard that before. One of these girls was Julia, fake name. She treated me horribly. Oh, because they are enemies? Oh, is this the kind of friends that I had then? You don't need enemies because your friends are your enemies kind of vibe? All right, I know what that's like. She treated me horribly, but in the same breath would call me her best friend without letting me really have a say in the matter. Is this story about me? I feel like this story's about me. The last time we did a stream where we were talking about petty things and stuff, I told my story of my history with my friend group in grade school, not high school, and how horrible they were to me. But then they'd call me their best friend, and they wouldn't let me go and make new friends and have a new friend group that treated me nicer. All right, this is about me. She would rip me to shreds behind my back, make up rumors about me. This story is about me. It was a very confusing time, and so our clique stuck together through the years of secretly cheating, creating drama, and disliking each other. This is my story. In hindsight, all dumb 14-year-old high school girly stuff. 12, 13-year-old. That's what happened to me, was 12, 13. But at the same time, it truly hurt me a lot. Genuinely the worst time of my entire life still. Julia had to repeat a grade and change schools, and I cut the friendship off right there. She still had friends at my school, though, and so the rumors continued for years. Even up to my mid-20s, I would hear from people, oh, weren't you the girl who slept with XYZ, even though I was the most boring, introverted high schooler ever? I learned to shrug it off, but knowing so many people had an awful misconception of me because of Julia was disheartening and anxiety-inducing. There was a good chance people my age had heard of me, even if they had never met me. That's the kind of thing that would, you'd always wonder who thinks what of you. It's like that saying there are so many different versions of you living in the heads of other people, but only one real version of you, and only give the time of day to the people that care to get to know the genuine version of you. You know what I mean? Why? Somebody else said 12 to 13 were the worst years of my life. Why does 12 to 13, that moment in time, why does it suck so bad? Why is it the worst time ever? The weekend I was back in my hometown and I attended an event with some friends, none of which I went to high school with. We were standing at a table drinking wine and enjoying the sun when one of my friends pointed out that a neighboring table kept looking at me. I looked and it was Julia and a whole bunch of other women, quickly turning their heads away. They had been looking me up and down and clearly gossiping. And now they're adults. Now they're in their 20s and they're adults still behaving this way. Isn't that sad? Princess Skypey, thank you for gifting a sub. Appreciate you gifting. Thank you so much. Now, I'm not currently in my best phase. I've gained some weight. I was dressed cute but sloppily and was disheveled and sweaty. I felt self-conscious and obviously this was not how I wanted to meet a person that I had so much bad history with. But I'm not that boring introverted high schooler anymore. Nowadays, I'm outspoken, opinionated, and a little bit mischievous when the occasion arises. So I decided it was time to stretch my acting muscles and be petty for once. That would have been me if I did see any of, like the girl, I named her Laura in my telling of my story. If I had that opportunity, and I always hoped that we'd have a grade school, like, reunion, but we never did, and you usually don't do it for grade school, you do it for high school. But I was prepared to be so petty. It just never happened for me, which is sad. I went over all question marks and polite smiles being like, "Hi, I saw you looking. Can I help you with anything?" I did not say that sarcastically. I was genuinely just being polite. The women looked surprised, and then one of them pointed at Julia and said, "Oh no, Julia here just said you used to go to the same school." I looked Julia right in her face and said super excitedly, "Oh really? The Montessori school?" Which was my grade. Julia looked really put off. Her face was super scrunched up and she replied confused, "No, our high school's name." Listen, I'm not an actress, but I know I pulled this off perfectly. I made a surprised, then pensive face and said, "Oh, and your name is?" I could tell Julia was getting irritated. She said her name and I thought for a second and apologized and said, "Oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing. I really can't place you. How long were we in class together?" "Until 8th grade. She looked... Wait, I thought they went to high school together. Did she just say until 8th grade? I thought they went to high school. Did I miss something? She looked so uncomfortable at that. She was looking at my face like she clearly wanted to say more but couldn't tell if I really didn't remember her. It was glorious. I was acting my butt off, sort of smiling apologetically and saying, "Boy, I'm so sorry. That was nearly 17 years ago. But hey, please don't take it personally. I really only remember the names of people I was friends with back then." The other women were all sort of chuckling uncomfortably, and one of her friends even said, "Oh yeah, that happens to me all the time too. I can never place former classmates." We were just laughing a little, and then Julia just threw a really meek, "We were friends." We were roommates. We were friends. I wanted to laugh at her at that point, but I kept it in and just sort of shrugged and said, "I'm so sorry. I really don't recall. But hey, it was nice seeing you again. I hope you ladies have a nice rest of the evening." The look on her face when I turned away was priceless. I will dream about it for years. I could tell her other friends didn't really think much about the whole interaction, but Julia was clearly embarrassed. So I made sure to wink at her when she passed me to leave the event. I would have never been that quick to think like that. I would have never been that quick to think like that. To just be like, we were friends? I just really don't remember. I'm so sorry. I just really can't place it in my memory. But, you know, nice to see you. Hope you're having a lovely time. That's the best kind of petty where, like, no one ultimately even was really harmed in this petty story. Except maybe the emotions of Julia. And the ego of Julia. But that was for the best. That was for the greater good. Deserves an Oscar. Very brilliant. Great job. OP. That was so good. This was the best revenge. Well done. I want to read some of the comments. The wink gave me a shiver of joy. The commitment to... The fact that she went back and winked is so good. Like, she didn't just act her butt off and really make Julia question if she could remember her. She confirmed after the whole exchange was over, "Oh, I know who you are. I know what you've done." And that was revenge. Okay, cool. I like that one. That's good petty. That's good, almost wholesome petty, because she gained a little bit of something that hopefully from her friendship with that girl, she recovered fully from how awful they treated her. And obviously was a much better, stronger, outspoken person than she was previously. And she deserved that little win and now gets to move on with her life and feel good. She thought so fast, though. If it was me and I saw Laura at a table at an event, I wouldn't think to do that at all. But I would definitely go over there and try and be petty by just showing how well off I am now. Like, not in a bragging, like, showing off money or anything. I don't have any of that. But just showing that how she treated me didn't affect me, and I'm still thriving today. Next story. Think I'm too poor to buy my own macaroons? Think again. So me, 16 male, and my two sisters, 11, 13 female, were on a day trip to Victoria, BC. That's British Columbia, right? Like, is that Canada? Or is BC somewhere else? Wait, BC. Wait. Yes. Okay, good. I was scared. I didn't know. Okay, with our mom. For context, I do have multiple part-time jobs. I'm not rich by any means, but I do have some fuck you money saved up, which happened to be useful for this occasion. We stumbled across a macaroon shop, and as you probably know, macaroons are expensive. I wanted only one, because I was already pretty full at the time, and so I asked my sisters if they could spend $2 on a single macaroon for me, as they were already buying like 4 of them for themselves. She refused, which was whatever for me, because it is their own money after all. However, what ticked me off is when she said in a snooty voice, "Oh, you're too poor to buy your own macaroons? I feel bad for you." The next line is, "Okay, bitch, game on." So without a word, this is little petty. This isn't even like you're shrugging off a macaroon. So without a word, I went up to the counter and asked for a pack of 20 macaroons. I went across the store. I can't read. I went across the entire store picking out almost every single flavor they had available and said confidently, "I'll have all of that on debit, please." They were left speechless at first. This is the idea of a 16-year-old's petty, though. The OP is a 16-year-old guy. The other one was like grand level petty. This is little petty, but he's growing up to be a very petty man, and I can respect that. I closed the story, but I didn't even actually finish it. They were left speechless, but when they realized I was getting 20 macaroons for myself, they started whining to my mom, asking if they could have some, but she didn't care as it was my own money. All I said to them was, "Oh, you're too poor to get your own macaroons?" And I walked off eating my 20 macaroons while they were stuck with their measly 4. That is a 16-year-old's idea of petty revenge. It's funny that it's so not on the same level as the other story before it. Can you curse on Twitch? You definitely can. And if you're looking for streams that don't have any of that, you're going to look for the tag that says family friendly, which I do occasionally stream under when I'm doing a hardcore survival Minecraft. A lot of the times I do Minecraft, I'll be in family friendly, but today we are not. Twitch is a 13+ platform and does allow swears and many other things that might not be deemed appropriate for you if your parents knew about it. So, just be safe out there. Okay, this one's adult petty. I can already tell because the title is "Cut My Hours and Lie to Me? Enjoy a Visit from the Health Inspector." When I was 18, I started working in an ice cream parlor lunchroom. I worked there every high season, the summers and springs. My second season there, I got promoted to shift supervisor, more responsibilities, some pay. Every time they needed someone to pick up a shift or start earlier, that person would be me. Cut to my third season, I was starting to take less shit from everyone and generally standing up for myself more. I got a complaint filed against me from a customer because I refused to serve her once we were closed one evening. Instead of talking to me about it, I knew the other owner personally, and up until that time I considered her a nice person and she liked me. I started to notice I got less and less hours. All right, let's all relax with saying fuck yeah, though. There is a limit in this chat that you can't just swear for the hell of it. Tastefully. Tastefully and not just to spam the F word. When I asked the general manager about it, she swore up and down that it had nothing to do with the complaint and the business had just been slow. This all kept happening until I got notice that they had overscheduled a shift and that I didn't have to work that day. When I dropped by, imagine my surprise that there was someone working who wasn't scheduled because it was busy. I asked the owner to have a conversation with me, and these are some highlights. 1, we don't owe you any answers. 2, you do know there are cameras, right? Someone stole 40 pounds a week before. 3, did something happen at home because you're acting different this year? After this conversation, I quit right there. Cue petty revenge. I happen to know that their AC was ridiculously dirty. I knew this because my now fiance worked with ACs at the time and had warned me, both me and the owner, about it. Think mold, dust, etc. in there. They had not done anything about it, and when given the opportunity to get a new system at a very discounted price, they just laughed and said it was too expensive. Guess who anonymously tipped the health department? And guess who had to close for a week while their AC got replaced and got a pretty hefty fine? Honestly, that one's for the greater good kind of petty, because that was potentially dangerous for the health of their employees and their customers if their AC was so bad that it was full of mold and was blowing mold, mostly for the workers who are staying in the store hours at a time for weeks. Who knows how long it had been building up mold. That's just dangerous. Honestly, I'm surprised his girlfriend, who works with ACs, knowing that it was that bad, didn't already report it if that was her job. Honestly, maybe I don't understand why she knew about the mold and she didn't think it was worth reporting. I guess, but you know what? You gotta have the time. He had the time. He had the time and he reported to the health department and they had closed for a week. So the comments, fuck with my money and I'll fuck with yours. Best part of this story was reading about someone learning to advocate for themselves. The petty revenge was icing on the cake. Oh, somebody told their story. This is how dangerous this could have been, and genuinely was just a risk to the health of the people who worked there. Good for you. The one and only time in my life that I was so deathly sick and could barely breathe and ended up with a lung infection that turned to double pneumonia. I didn't know that was possible. And had me bedridden for an entire month was after the company I worked for at the time turned on their air conditioning system without it being cleaned or inspected regularly. They refused to believe me that was the issue, so I called the health inspector. Their central air was absolutely riddled with mold. Black mold. That could kill somebody. They had to replace the entire system, including ducts, through the entire building. They were also ordered to have it cleaned at the end of the season and before it's turned back on every year. This can ruin someone's health, and a company doesn't have the right to kill us with mold while they're killing us at work and truly don't give a shit about their employees' health. And they can afford the air conditioning, even when they say they can't. You absolutely can. See, that's dangerous. If you're feeling a little moldy at your work, just give a little anonymous tip to the health inspector just so that it gets checked out and then find out. Find out for sure. That's good petty. That's like hero level petty for the greater good. All right. Let's read the one that was titled My Roommate Never Gets Her Laundry. This is probably small scale petty, but I can't wait to read it because I had a roommate, my college roommate, and I had some issues with her sometimes about, never really about laundry actually. But I like hearing about roommate issues from stories because they're always really funny. This one's pretty simple, but I have a roommate who always leaves her clothes in the dryer for long periods of time, sometimes even for days. See, me living alone, I do that all the time. I will always leave my clothes in the dryer it's almost like extra storage for my clothes, but I don't live with somebody else. At first, I would simply take it out and put it in her basket and move on. Her basket would still stay there for days until that is, she got an idea that if she doesn't include her basket anymore, then it would force me to carry her clothes all the way up the stairs to her room. Oh, that's just rude. That's just rude to go out of your way to move your basket so you're forcing somebody else to bring your laundry to your room for you. That's just not nice. That's just like a not nice people thing to do. And it worked because I did this a few times because I really needed to use the dryer. But of course, I was done with her shit. I would have just left it on the floor. I would have just left it on the floor at that point already. So now all I simply do is take her clothes and put them on top of the dryer. Bonus cat hair while I dry my clothes. That's even nicer because I didn't even consider to put it on top. I would have put it on the floor. with the cat hair and the shoe dirt and feet dirt and just other stuff that ends up on the floor. After my clothes are done, I put her clothes right back in the dryer. That is so much kinder than I would have been, even still. I know you're probably wondering why I don't just leave it on top of the dryer. I do this so that it doesn't make it easier for her in any way. I want her to struggle reaching down for that last sock. I want her to get annoyed when she's pulling out clothes and some of them accidentally fall onto the ground and get cat hair on them. Oh, and she hates bending over. I know this revenge isn't super crazy interesting, but I thought I'd share since doing this has worked. She's finally started to catch up and even sheeply apologize. It's the going out of the way to make her bring your clothes to you. For me, that is like... It's one thing to just not be mindful of somebody else that you live with and leave your clothes in a space that you share. But to purposely move your basket when they're already going out of the kindness to move your clothes to your basket for you when you do that. But then she moved the basket so she would have her clothes be brought to her for her. That's just not nice. That's just not a nice thing to do. Good Petty. Oh, there's an edit. I want to keep this post short because people keep asking. Because people keep asking. Yes, I do ask her to get her clothes out of the dryer when she's home, and she does. The problem is she's not home most of the time, but what really got me to this petty point was the fact that she decided to not leave her basket so that way I would bring it to her via delivery on her bed. That's when she went out of her way to make you do things for her and not just wasn't conscious of you at all. She was conscious of you and then made you do things for her. And still she's being way nicer than I would be in this situation. I would have left it on the floor or left it on top of the dryer and then just kept piling it up or just keep leaving it on the floor. Lastly, so many people are saying that I should have thrown her clothes on the floor. This does not work in my favor since our laundry room is basically a small closet. Oh, this would backfire on me since it would be difficult to not only get in and out of the laundry room, but also close and open the door. All right, that explains that then. That's good. That's good. Sometimes living with a person is one of the hardest things that you can decide to do at any point in either a relationship, a friendship, or just simply with a complete stranger. Living with another person can be really, really, really difficult. Especially when you just have different habits and different levels of like, I'm a very, very clean person. And because I stream in my bedroom is always so neat and my bed is always made. And then my living room is always, at the end of the day, I usually like put the things that don't belong where they are away, or by the morning I'll do that. I'm very, very clean. And I've lived with people who weren't. I've lived with people who were really, really, really uncleanly. Like exceptionally uncleanly. And living with a person's hard. It is hard. And if you don't have basic levels of communication, like this girl who just can't seem to put her laundry away when she does it, sometimes you gotta do something just a little bit petty. But this person was even still so nice about it that she still put her clothes back in the dryer for her. All right. This is the one that I pulled aside that is titled, I Guess I'm a Salty Bitch. It was 2012. I got my very first apartment with 3 friends. Me and the girl shared a room while the 2 boys shared the other. The girl had us all do house meeting when we all moved in. She discussed general rules, which were common sense things. She explicitly says that if anyone has a problem with someone or something, just bring it up. Okay? No big deal. Communication. This is great. Establishing a set of rules for the common space areas among people who are living together is a great idea. However, I like that I imagine it starting with it was a dark and stormy night. It was 2012. They held on to this to post 2 days ago. 10 years later. However, she quickly became the only one in the house to have issues, and yet she never brought it up. She would just be passive-aggressive and be loud in her semi-silent tantrum, like banging the door closed, stomping, slamming cabinets. The rest of us didn't know if she had issues with us or an outside issue, like her boyfriend. That made her moody because she never adhered to her own rule of confronting an issue if it was house roommate related. Me and her not only shared a bedroom, but a bathroom as well. Over time, I noticed that she didn't wash her hands after using the toilet. Oh. Oh, girl, no. No. Uncleanly. That's what I meant. I don't mean someone who's just like a little messier than me and leaves things around because they don't mind it as much. I mean dirty. Some people are dirty. Oh. Considering I have to touch the same doorknobs as her to go in and out of the room or open the cupboard, I felt it an issue enough to bring it up with her in private. You know, as per her rule. Her reaction? Attack every single person in the house for what offends her. Me? You leave your water cup on the counter, still using it. Boy 1 always plays his computer games loudly. He uses a headset and our apartment just echoes loudly. Boy 2 doesn't say hello to her when he comes back from class to greet her. These are all in parentheses, the little, still using it. He uses a headset, and for doesn't say hello, parentheses, what? Sounds like she has a crush on that one. She proceeds to call me a salty bitch, and for the rest of our time together, she continues to be passive-aggressive and gets even worse, stealing money from people's wallets, throwing away something that wasn't trash and wasn't hers, and hiding a possession to inconvenience someone else. Who thinks like that? Who thinks like that? This is mean people behavior. If I said anything to her about anything, she defaulted to calling me salty. So, I decided to get my petty revenge. She made living with her uncomfortable the second she was ever in the apartment with anyone else. I decided to make her physically uncomfortable. I took some table salt and would sprinkle... I took some table salt and would sprinkle some in her bedding. Enough to make her toss and turn and wonder what was making her so itchy. Salt, because it doesn't attract ants, was small and white to blend in with her bedding, and because it was safe enough spice to not stain her sheets or be obvious that it was a kitchen spice. She never got another good sleep for long. I'd give her a day or two of salt-free sleep to make her think the issue was gone, at least until she pissed me or the others off enough to warrant another uncomfortable nights. She never found out what it was. No effort on my side, just a tiny sprinkle of salt every few days all over her bedding. If I'm such a salty bitch, might as well live up to the name. Her restless sleep made her too tired to put effort into her bitchiness and crimes. She's committing crimes. She was stealing money out of their wallets. Who thinks to do that to other people that you live with? Because, for what? Because why? Who's salty now? This is why I can appreciate the title of Petty Revenge. People really craft a good title like they're writing an essay. And that one was really well done. Good job, Salty Queen. Whew. Let's see what else we have for petty stories. Oh, you know what? I'm really liking the roommate ones. Because I like seeing how people get creative against a roommate that just is arguably not a good roommate. Some people just aren't. And maybe should live alone. Or with somebody that more matches the way that they live. Because there are people out there that maybe are a better fit in a living situation. Adeline Lemon bringing it in for a hug. Gianna Margaret, thank you for the prime. Kaminari, thank you for subscribing. Saren, thank you for subscribing. Bemsla, thank you for gifting a sub. Appreciate you gifting. Satisfying petty roommate revenge. A few years ago in college, I used to live with 4 other roommates, and one of them, we'll call her Emily, was the worst. I'll preface it by saying she is way easier to be around now, and I actually told her this story, which ended with laughs. But she would verbally scream at us if she thought we touched her stuff. It's nice that they can laugh about it now. Sometimes we're crazy. Sometimes some of us just were crazy when we were in high school, college. I remember the first time it happened, we had just moved in and she put her silverware in our public drawer. Didn't specify that she didn't want anyone else using it, and one of us had the misfortune of randomly grabbing her fork and screamed, she screamed, "Hey, you," this is pretty vulgar, by the way, "Hey, you fucking stupid pieces of shit, does this look like it belongs to you?" holding up said fork. No? Then why the fuck is it in the dishwasher? Should I replace with frick where appropriate? Because that sounds like more fun to read, frick. I remember instantly thinking, frick. I just signed a lease with this person. We were all super taken aback and just said, okay, if you feel that strongly about others using your utensils, maybe you should claim a shelf and keep them separate. She essentially went like, oh, okay. And that was that. You know what? It sounds like she maybe has some anger issues and she worked them out because she laughs about it now and is hopefully better now from the therapy, hopefully. But it just got worse. Each and every time she'd just really tear into you and call you insulting names for not knowing something she never communicated. The final straw was when someone drew a smiley face in the dust on her rear windshield. Now, she parked down the street, drove to campus, and worked at a nearby mall. So many people could have done this horrendous act. Calling it horrendous is generous. But sure enough, she comes storming home to us, chilling in the living room, watching something, and goes, "Which one of you frickers did this?" And she shows us a pic of the smiley face. "I know it was one of you. Fess up." We just sat there like, none of us did that. We've all been here. She screamed and stormed off to her room and slammed the door. So the rest of the time I lived with her, every time she'd yell at us for something dumb, I'd get justice by going to her shelf of precious kitchen stuff, which had pans, cutting boards, utensils, etc. And she also had some chopsticks. Now these chopsticks were laid out perfectly, all lined up in a row, all faced the same direction. I'd flip a single chopstick the wrong way and leave. Oh no. It sounds like someone who's like so particular about things, and when they don't go her way, flips into immediate, incredible anger. But has since worked on it. Good for you, Emily. It got to the point where she'd see the single chopstick out of line and just scream at the top of her lungs and stamp her feet. That's a child tantrum. That's a 5-year-old who stomps their feet when they're angry. Just a whole damn meltdown that shook the whole house. I kind of feel bad by how much distress it caused her, and definitely think there was something else going on. But she never once tried to talk to any of us in any other form besides screaming bloody murder at us, and never communicated a simple, "Hey, this is my stuff, please don't touch it." Would have been all she needed to say. Yeah, I'm gonna also agree. Something else was going on, and it sounds like because she's able to laugh about it now, she doesn't have these same like anger issues that she had before. And maybe even, like, I don't know, maybe something to be diagnosed later. She's very particular about her chopsticks being organized incredibly neatly, which doesn't need to mean OCD, but could. Maybe she's got something else going on. Make chopsticks a ringtone and see if she figures it out, somebody said. She would have needed therapy by the time me and my friends were done with her. Good job keeping it classy. Genuinely, she probably did go to therapy. As somebody said, she already needed therapy. She already had some issues and would never solve them without it. And it sounds like she did. I'm not sure how you managed to stay friends with her. It sounds like they kind of reconnected. I don't know if they stayed friends or just maybe just stayed in contact even, but moving one single chopstick. It's the low effort petty that though also results in like the best way. I gotta sneeze. Bless me. Please. Sneeze. Okay. Let's see if I can find another roommate petty, because I kind of love and am living for the roommate petty. Somebody said, I would know a thing or two about mental illnesses because I have a few. And you know what? I hope that you are thriving despite it. Ooh, never mind. I want to read this one. It's not roommate, but I'm really liking the petty revenge on just people from your past that just were like bad people to you. High school bully revenge. In high school, oh, this sounds like me too already. In high school, I was really shy and quiet, which often made me the target for bullies. There was one particular girl, I will refer to her as Miss Popularity, who made my life a living hell. She was a varsity cheerleader, and there was a group of girls that hung out around her that basically did everything she said. I guess so they could leech popularity off of her by association. She valued her status a great deal. I remember her inviting a girl a grade below us, another super shy, quiet type, to a sleepover at her house, only for the other girls there to basically make fun of her when she arrived. Oh, that was me. Not in high school, though, but that was me. People were talking about it the following week at school, and the poor girl even missed a few days of attendance because I assumed she was too embarrassed to show her face at school. Miss Popularity and her clique thought it was so funny. They also loved to play phone pranks and pranked a quiet bookworm boy, and had one girl profess she had a huge crush on him. Worked up his confidence and made him believe her, and invited him to sit with her at lunchtime only to embarrass him. They were honestly the real-life version of Mean Girls. Who things like this. These are children too. That's terrifying. This is why I'm scared of children. I had Spanish class with Miss Popularity, and at Christmas time, our teacher let us have a party on the last day before winter break. Everyone bought something for it. Chips, dip, drinks, candy, etc. On this particular day, Miss Popularity was really being full of herself and making snide remarks to people. I finally decided I'd had enough. This is someone in high school, and if I'm not sure what she's about to do, but she's bold for even thinking to do anything, and I'm excited to find out what it was. I wasn't the confrontational type because I was so introverted, but because I grew up as the middle kid with 2 older brothers and a bratty younger sister, I had to learn how to be sneaky. Miss Popularity was wearing a pair of white jeans. Mistake number 1. The whitest of white jeans. She was not looking, and most of the other kids around me were up getting their food. I tossed a crumbled up piece of Hershey candy bar on her assigned seat. The seat was dark colored wood, so it would blend in. When she came back to her desk, she sat down on her seat, right flat down on it as she proceeded to eat. And when she stood up to go get something else, a boy behind her said, "Oh, girl, you shit yourself." Really loudly. And she said, "What? No, I didn't." And he pointed to her pants, which made others look, who also started to laugh. She wiped her pants, which smeared it as she tried turning to look at it. And she said, "I swear I did not. I sat in something. It must be chocolate." But it honestly did melt and looked like crap. And a group of kids got a hold of it. And that entire day they were talking about how she shit her pants and sharted in 5th period. She ended up tying her sweater around her waist to cover it, but everyone at that point knew and were whispering about it. She got a good dose of being bullied and made fun of for the rest of that day, and even after that day until it started to blow over. But she seemed to have been humbled by it somewhat, because I don't remember the bullying by her being as bad after that. I know it wasn't nice of me and made me no better than the bully, but honestly at that point I think she deserved it, and because I had the brunt of so much of her bullying, I just didn't care. The teachers let her slide with everything, but the students sure didn't. Humbled. Quickly. And then she didn't bully anyone as bad anymore after that. You honestly, because you're a kid, right? And I don't think kids realize how bad it feels to be the one being bullied if they've never been bullied before. And all they know is the good feeling that they get from doing it because they think it's funny and don't think twice about how the person on the other end could possibly feel. And then she found out. And it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good. And I can't blame they're children, right? They're probably 14, 15 years old. I can't blame the girl that acted on being bullied by putting a piece of chocolate under her white jeans. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You were a child, and also good for you, because I would have never been ballsy enough, honestly. Someone said, "Beware the quiet ones." You did God's work that day. I always feel bad when it's children being bullied that hard, but obviously it was kind of just a karmic revenge. You gotta learn at some point what it feels like to be on the other end of it, and then you're like, oh my God, this is awful. I don't want to do that anymore. Hopefully, you hope. If you can ever manage to get it to be flipped around on them. Let's see. I'm trying to find something good. I made my bully cry. Let's keep reading about people bullying their bullies. That's kind of fun. Kind of good. Kind of love it. Oh, this is incredibly short. Oh no. Somebody put a translation below. Oh, it's written so horribly, probably by an actual child. I'm just gonna read the translated version. Oh yeah, somebody in the comments, I hope the writer is a male because this is missing a lot of periods. I think it's just a complete run-on. They didn't use punctuation. I'm gonna read the translated. So when I was 6 or 7, I was bullied by a boy named Mikey. He was 2 years older than me, and he bullied me because I didn't like his brother. This sounds like a child's. I don't want to read a child's petty revenge. I'm gonna read bigger petty revenge. I want to read 15-year-old petty revenge, not 8-year-old petty revenge. And that sounded like 8-year-old. 8-year-old problems. Let's read coworker constantly leaving messes for me to pick up. Because this is just an overall problem that we all experience when we live with people, when we live with siblings, when we live with roommates, significant others, and in coworker situations. All right, so I work back of house for a pretty big brewery in my city, and typically when you finish a process, you clean up your pumps, hoses, etc. I've got this one coworker who constantly will text me saying stuff like, sorry, I got busy doing XYZ and couldn't clean up, so you're going to be walking into a mess tomorrow. Over the year of work there, I've grown pretty tired of this, and I've brought it up to my managers before, but nothing got done. Well, on Saturday, I've got another one of those texts saying that on Sunday, I'm going to be walking into a big mess. As I've said, I've grown tired of this. And Sunday was going to be a pretty light day for me. So I hit up my manager on Saturday night saying, hey, boss, it's going to be pretty light for me on Sunday. Is it cool if I take a personal day on Sunday and use sick time? My manager, being the cool guy he is, not cool enough to do anything about the issue in the first place, though. I'm just going to say, yeah, dude, totally. I'll cover for you. Well, it turns out that my manager's manager, turns out my manager's manager decided he wanted some time on the floor on Sunday. He described the mess as if someone who was 5 processes... What? Someone who was 5 processes deep got a call that their pregnant wife went into labor and that this needed to be addressed ASAP because it was not okay. So hopefully something actually gets done now. That's just luck. That was just absolute luck because he just decided not to go in that Sunday so he wouldn't have to deal with the mess. But he got real lucky that the manager's manager came in just to check on some things, and they know exactly who was there the night before to have caused the mess. Why does an 8-year-old have Reddit? I don't know. I was an 8-year-old with a RuneScape account. I'm not going to judge. Just be safe out there and keep them safe. Oh, I read that one already, apparently. Oh, no, I've caught up to where I read from last time. Uh-oh. All right, this one looks good. Let's see. Abuse me and my work bestie? Enjoy literally living at work. I currently work at a drug alcohol residential treatment center. I used to do the same thing somewhere else. The pay sucked and the commute sucked, but my coworkers absolutely rocked. They were worth the dog shit pay and 50-mile one-way commute. I was always on time. I never complained about anything. I did my job well for the most part, and when I messed up, I'd always take responsibility and fix it. Same with my work bestie. But my boss liked to pick on us. She'd come into the nursing station just to yell at us and tell us about how she doesn't trust us, and she loved to remind us how she didn't really need us. One day after a particularly bad abuse session, I sent HR an email about her behavior. One of the many emails I've sent. And they told me to go frick myself. It brought up all those bad memories of getting bullied in high school, and no one did anything about it. My depression and anxiety got so bad. I came pretty close. I'm gonna breeze over that. But then I stopped and said, frick it. I'm a nurse. I can get a better job with a better pay and better treatment and a closer commute. So I did. I quit. That's all I did. I wrote the most bland 2-week notice I could, and I sent it to HR, management, and the nursing department. That same day, 2 other people quit. And during those 2 weeks, 3 more people quit. And in the month since I got my new job, a total of 8 nurses quit. Now, staffing is so bad that my boss had to move into the facility to live there and be on site 24/7, all because she was mean to me and my friend. She has a sick husband at home, and she doesn't even see him anymore. Oh, God. And to make it even better, they had a mass firing at our sister facility, which is much closer to my home. They have far fewer patients, and I joined an agency and get sent there weekly to collect more than $400 a pop for doing next to no work on a 12-hour shift. Shit. So now they're paying me to scroll Reddit and wear track pants just because they need a warm body there and they can't say anything. So that's my revenge. Don't mess with nurses. All right. Yeah, honestly, a lot of the ones on this are bad bosses. And sometimes they don't even sound like they're that fun to read. They're just mean people that became a boss. Bullies that became the bosses at a company. You know what I mean? High school bullies that became the boss at some business, local business, small business. Ooh, okay, this one looks good. And short? Not short. I have been taking revenge on my boss after she wrongly accused me of something that wasn't my fault and didn't apologize for it. Edit. Dear people, I would like to address some things. Oh, I can't read that yet because I didn't read the story yet. So this story requires some backstory. I work in a hospital. To be precise, I work in the logistical part of it. Nothing fancy or as important as the work nurses and doctors do, but I am responsible for some important parts that keeps everything running. I make sure to take my work as seriously as I can, and I always try to be as polite as ever, although I also think being polite is kind of something that should be normal. Anyway, back to my story. Last week, something went wrong in a machine that gives out the uniforms for the nurses. See it as one huge vending machine that holds like 300 scrubs. It's pretty important that the machine keeps running day or night, and since I do the night shifts, it's my job that it does. However, on the one day last week, Tuesday to be specific, a malfunction happened and the machine stopped working. We only found out the next day, and at that time, it was already too late. Lots of angry nurses, which was understandable. When I arrived at my work, my boss was already waiting for me in the office. She took me aside and made sure I understood what I did wrong. She blamed me for making everyone work in old, dirty clothes and for costing the company, we aren't part of the hospital, money. So they didn't cost them money. I accepted it as it was during my shift. What did bother me was that I made sure everything worked perfectly fine that Tuesday. I always make sure to check it at least 3 times before I leave, but apparently not this time. Fast forward to this week's Tuesday, something interesting happened. The company I worked for looked into the machine and the program it runs on. Turns out that it wasn't actually my fault at all. An update didn't work out as it was supposed to be, and it wasn't patched in time. My boss told me this to me with a big smile without making any effort to apologize. So after I left, I made sure to take my revenge. I kept it small so she wouldn't really notice. My revenge? On the first day, Tuesday, I diluted the Coke she always drinks. No! That's the worst, diluted Coke. I poured out some Coke and added water to it, mixed it together, and left the cap off until my shift was over. Say goodbye to your carbonated drink. On Wednesday, I took the batteries from her mouse and put them in backwards so it wouldn't work anymore. These are the littlest petties. The least petty. Today, Thursday, I flipped back one of the tiny legs of her keyboard. You won't notice when you stand near it, but when you try to type on it, it'll wiggle around. Very annoying for a second. Tomorrow, Friday, I will make the hole puncher she uses a little shorter. Not noticeable when you look at it, but definitely when you see it. How do you make a hole puncher shorter? Shorter in what way? How do you even do that? How do you even think about doing that? As for the next week, I'm not sure yet, but I am quitting soon, so maybe I'll give her my 2-week notice. Thank you for the long read. These are like little petty ideas. Dilute their Coke. They wrong you? Dilute their Coke. Now I can read the edit that was put at the top. 1, yes, I did tamper with the cola. I diluted it with a little bit of water. I won't do anything else food or drinks related anymore, and I didn't really see it as that big of an issue. 2, why I didn't ask for an apology. This isn't the first time it happened. My boss is excellent at spinning stories, and for 10.40 euro an hour, I just don't really see a purpose in doing that again. Just because she didn't apologize. That's petty. That is petty. Wow. Dilute their Coke and put salt in their bed. Yep, I'm about that. Dilute their Coke and put salt in their bed. All right, well, that was fun. Should we check on the streets? It's just my favorite thing to do sometimes, even though it ends up being awful every time I do it anyway. Are you okay? The streets. Just checking in. Maybe some days it'll get better. I can only hope. All right, here's just a screenshot of a tweet. So Cartoon Network has a cartoon called Craig of the Creek. Flipping the channels earlier, it was on, and the main character says to another, "Go in my purse, I think I have some moisturizer in there." A boy with a purse. Not a fanny pack. A purse. And said purse. That's the whole tweet. Society's gonna crumble. A boy has a purse. And he's keeping moisturizer in it. It's a bag with a strap. Getting your panties in a bunch over what it's called is semantics. Also, listen, I'm anti-purse gang. I don't like purses, personally. I don't like having things hanging off my shoulder. It just feels like heavy on one side and uncomfortable, or I like cross straps more, but I'm a little mini backpack kind of a person. I wear a little mini backpack as my purse, because I just don't like purses. I feel like an old woman when I'm carrying a big purse, and I don't like having something on one shoulder that I'm lugging around, and I don't carry a lot of things. I really just need a little bag that I can stick my phone in, keep my glasses in, a chapstick, a mask, and my wallet. That's really all I need. So I wear a little mini backpack that I keep, because I just hate carrying a purse. But it do be just a bag, though. Also, the show, the image of the show that they use, he is just carrying like a cross bag, like a cross shoulder bag. And he just refers to it as a purse because it is just the name of the bag. Society is crumbling. All right, they're not okay. Apparently, everyone in the comments is talking about how great this show actually is, though, for like Cartoon Network shows wise. Craig of the Creek apparently is really, really good. So says many of the comments. A purse is far more handy than a fanny pack, whatever that is. I hate fanny packs. I was on fanny pack gang though for a while, but I would wear it across my shoulder and on my back like a backpack. I wouldn't wear it on my waist. but sometimes fanny packs are pretty fashionable, and lots of people still like to wear them. And anytime I criticize any piece of clothing or article of clothing or item like a bag, I only mean for me. I don't mean for anyone else. I don't care if you're wearing a purse. I don't like wearing them. I don't care if you're wearing a fanny pack on your waist. I don't like wearing them. But I was on board with fanny packs, like going across your shoulder. I thought that was sick. And I would just whip it around and zip and pull out whatever I needed. Yeah. All right. That is the end of my coffee. That is the end of our petty revenge stories. That is the end of checking on the straights because they're still not okay. Anyway, how are we all doing? How are we feeling? Let's just catch up, and then I'm gonna... Where's my cat? Cat. Chup. Bamsla, thank you for subscribing. Thank you guys for subbing. We got a new goal. At the end of July, I'm gonna do a big subathon. If you have any ideas of like goals that we can hit and things that we can do, tweet them at my second Twitter. I like getting spammed on my second Twitter with just ideas of things. Anytime you have like a Jubilee video that you're like, Shubble, you got to see this one. Send it to my second Twitter and I'll save it to watch on stream. You're drinking coffee, doesn't that make you all energetic? That's the point. That's what I'm using it for. But also, no, it doesn't like wire me too hard. Am I in Empire Season 2? You must not be on Twitter to get the updates from Twitter. Or not just not following me on Twitter, but I absolutely am. I absolutely am. I've tweeted a picture of my character. And we've tweeted the date that the first episode will get released on everyone's channels. separate channels. Make sure you're subscribed to everybody on Empires. And if you are on Twitter, go follow everybody who is on Empires to get any updates from each of them on when their episodes go out or any little teasers. Everybody released a little video. Not everybody. Some people released a little video about their character. We also released a tease that implies what each of our characters might be, but we didn't say who's who yet. One being like a rainbow flag, one being Kiki from Kiki's Delivery Service. So you can go try and figure out who is who. I haven't revealed what my story is. I've only revealed my skin without any additional armor, tools, hats, or anything like that. Just my base skin. And I haven't revealed what my biome will be. I don't know that anyone has revealed what biome they're going to be in primarily. And you can make a guess at which one is me, but I'm not giving it away just yet. I'm not giving it away. We will do the Spore stream either here while Wilbur is in town, and hopefully we can either do it here or when I go to England. I know it's been taking the absolute longest to get around to doing the Spore stream, but I really want to have the both of us do it and make cute little animals and just mess around on Spore for like an hour. And I'm sorry it's taken so long, but I really want to wait until the timing is right for us to do it together because I think it'll be so fun. Am I wrong in thinking you were an epic witch in another series? I don't believe I have ever been a witch in any series on Minecraft at all. I've been a secret agent. I've been a gnome. I've been like a time traveling guest at a hotel that also was secretly connected to my secret agent. X-Life? Oh, I was a witch. I've been a lawyer. I've been a lawyer before. I forgot about that too. I forgot about being a witch in X-Life, and I even got a whole new skin for that. X-Life wasn't really meant to be very roleplay-y though. We did have a coven of witches, and I did go with like a witch house and a witch skin, but we didn't really roleplay very hard. Not like how we do with Empires. I was a mayor. I've been a mayor before. Just call me Barbie. I've worn all the hats. I've been married. I've had kids. We're still talking about in Minecraft, not in real life. Can we rewatch the Agents series on stream together? Maybe. I still love going back and thinking about that world that we made with Agents. I really put a lot of effort into it, especially when we went and did Agents Academy to do, like, fill out the lore of the history of agents in the first place and how you go through school and where the great villain being Death and the Grim Reaper, Death being the son of the Grim Reaper. There was so much in that lore-wise that was so fun to do, but it was so long ago. It was before people really, like, were into lore in Minecraft. Everyone had, like, roleplay. There was a time when Minecraft roleplay was like super, super, super popular before recent times. And I wasn't into the like super kid-friendly kind of roleplay. I liked our improv comedy that was Agents, where like we did not have hardly any idea what like story we were going with. We just kind of made it up on the fly, and we're just trying to make each other laugh with how ridiculous whatever we said was. That was the goal, was make someone break character and laugh. But that ended up being the most fun, and it did end up being one of the most lore-heavy, intensive things I've ever even thought out in terms of a Minecraft series. Until, like, Empires. That probably would be the next most lore-heavy thing I've ever worked on for a Minecraft series. And now we're gonna have Empire Season 2. Agents was ahead of its time, let's be honest. I wouldn't ever mind bringing back, like, a series for around Agent Shed. And just maybe her, just her, maybe her like story between Academy and Agents in the lore, or her time before the Academy and just hearing about. I just kind of want to develop her a lot more. Why is her name Shed? Because we were idiots. That's what I'm saying. It was not meant to be taken seriously originally, but it ended up evolving into such a heavy lore series. But it started as try to make the other person laugh by being as ridiculous as possible. My name was Shed. Who's going to take anyone seriously whose name is Shed? That was never meant to be a real person that had backstory and history and feelings. In fact, if I ever wanted, I always think about any time we do like role plays, if I were to put it in like a comic book format, because I love that we've had Unleashed in a comic book format now. I just like to play a little thought experiment of thinking how it would be as a comic. I think about how absolutely insane it would be to write a comic about a person named Shed. And I always wish we named her something else. But, oh, you know what I was trying to come up with? What could Shed be short for? Come up with like a name that you could go by Shed as a nickname, and then maybe make it make sense if I ever made it like more of a story. Because who would in the right mind name their kid Shed? Or I come out with like a backstory on why she's named Shed. She was born in a shed. So they name her Shed. That would be more in the spirit of Agents. The most hilarious, ridiculous, unreal thing. She was named after the place she was born in. A shed. That fits her character, let's be honest. Sheldon I wouldn't ever shorten to Shed. I think I'm going to have the backstory be she was born in a shed because it's funnier than trying to explain it away by a nickname. That's too logical. Born in a shed. That's it. That's done. That's canonical now. Her name is Shed because she was born in a shed. I like it. I think that's good. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. Or that was her nickname in school. And so she like reclaimed it and goes by Shed now. Something stupid. I'm going to go with something stupid like that. Everything that is Agents is the stupidest thing you can think of. Put into a story and pieced together with the most intense lore I could come up with like the Grim Reaper is trying to destroy the world. His son, Death, enters Agents Academy. Grim Reaper also previously being an agent. And also nobody knows if they can trust him because he is the son of the Grim Reaper. And eventually he disappears. And that's the great evil that we're all constantly trying to stop. I don't actually remember any of what happened in Agents Academy either. Or Agents, the original. There was a machine. The universe did end, actually, in the series, canonically. There's a big machine and a button, I think. I really am having a struggle remembering. Maybe we will watch it on stream because it does kind of sound like fun to go back and relive. But the way that the whole thing ends canonically is that the universe is destroyed. They don't save it. Which is very fitting for the characters of Shed and Zed, is that they are so stupid. The ultimate end to the series is that they have the opportunity to save everybody, but they actually don't. It doesn't work out. Everything gets destroyed. All right, we're going to have an Agents viewing party. But if we do Agents and Agents Academy, we're going to have to do the bonus of Mystery Hotel, which is, in the smallest of ways, still connected to the main series. That was something I wanted to do, was make it a little nod. And I had the idea back then that I wanted all of my characters that I ever roleplay to exist in the same universe. I no longer feel that way. I don't want even though I'm playing Shrub in Afterlife, I don't want Afterlife to actually be canonically connected to Empires. Afterlife was meant to be more silly, and it's not meant to be connected to Empires canonically. I just wanted to do a little nod to my Empires character in it. Also, Origins is not connected to Afterlife. I don't want my characters all to exist in the same universe. I think it's pretty limiting if I say everybody is the same character. However, I will say they all are Ace every time. The Shelby Cinematic Universe. Yeah, so we've got Agents and Agents Academy connected, and then a little line connecting to Mystery Hotel. Afterlife floating in its own, maybe a side universe that branched off of Empires, but is not actually connected to the original universe in any way, shape, or form. It's out there floating separately. And then Origins is also out there floating separately. Yeah. And I think those are all my, like, really role-played characters. I didn't do any other series after Mystery Hotel until Empires that were heavy roleplay. I do have a lot of ideas for my lore and origins. I've also seen a lot of people posting their ideas for my lore and origins. And without saying what my idea is, everyone's been wrong so far. Everyone's been wrong so far, and I will say no one's theories are correct in the way that I'm planning on taking it. but I love your ideas. But no one's gotten it right yet. And to be fair, what my lore is something that you'd never be able to guess anyway. But people have been making ideas of what my original, like how I died and stuff like that. What I might have been before I died, and none of it is exactly the way that I'm personally planning. So I think it'll be a fun surprise when I get to evolve more of that. Oh yeah, Harmony Hollow had a lot of light roleplay too. Oh, and did I hint that it was connected to Avenue? We'll have those two floating with a little line between them too. That's fair. Those ones also, I would say, probably exist in the same little universe. Am I a witch? Oh, I did used to have my witch hat right here for me to grab. I don't particularly have it on me right now, though. I was going to pull it out, though. You were Zornoth before you died? No, that was Afterlife. But Afterlife is not actually canonically in that universe connected to Empires at all. Did I say Shadow Girl is the cousin of Zornoth? Sure. Is Shrub now in there and I made a little intro with the Nether Portal sound to make it sound like she accidentally ended up in that world? Yes. They're not actually connected series, though, in any way, shape, or form, just to be clear. Yeah, that's the history of most of my characters. I'm going to wrap up here, my dudes. I'm going to go. I'm going to get all of the hugs gathered for you all. Oh, yeah, Avenue definitely was connected because me and Grazer and B all had like a weird history crossover of exes and stuff because me and Grazer were married in Harmony Hollow. Yeah, those two, we'll have them floating next to each other with a little connection. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Hugs, Lonely Origin, Corinne Collins, Ghostliness, Adeline Lemon, Millie Shea, and Candy Self. Everybody bring it in for a hug. Thank you for reading Petty Stories with me today. And just hanging out. Appreciate everyone who was just here to watch. Make sure you follow me here on Twitch. And also subscribe to me on YouTube. Hey, subscribe to me on YouTube. Because my main channel is almost at 900,000, which is almost 1 million. And my VOD channel, which I did just record, or render rather. I'm going to upload my next VOD for tomorrow. I'm getting back into the regularly uploading the VODs game. Make sure you go subscribe to it, because here on Twitch, these streams will go away eventually. But on my VOD channel, all of the best ones, in my opinion, not all of them, but most of them, will still exist there. So make sure you go subscribe to it, because hey, maybe I could get that channel to 100K. Imagine me, 4 plaques. Isn't that insane? The 1 million plaque would be the most insane thing that I could ever achieve. But also my VOD channel is at 40,000 subscribers, and I feel like it's absolutely doable. And I really want to put effort into that channel to make sure all of my streams, like the comfort streams, people's that they love, all the MCC streams, all my group streams, and some of our just favorite times, just me and you together, they all will continue to exist there. So I'd love it if you subscribed to it. But thank you guys all for hanging out today. Thanks for hanging. Go sub. It's all free. Thanks for hanging out and giving me your time today. But I am going to go. And thank you for just vibing out. I really appreciate that. I'm going to have you guys read Owen. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just punched you. I keep punching you all the time. We need a VOD channel command. I'm going to get us a VOD channel command. Don't you worry. But I'm going to have you guys read Orange. I got to make sure I spell this correctly. Orange Juice TV. He's playing Minecraft. Go be the absolute nicest people in his chat. If you don't know the rules, ask the mods, don't break them by accident. And go in there, bring in your good vibes. Thanks for bringing them here today. Also, should I play The Quarry? I've heard it's really, really scary, but really, really, really good, and has like dozens of potential possible endings that you can end up with, but it seems really scary. But I'm down to give it a shot if enough people want me to play it, which I would definitely consider it. I'm just scared. I'm so scared, but I want to go out of my comfort zone. That could be our next story game because it's new, so it might be fun. But let me know. Send it to my second Twitter. That's where I'd love to be spammed all your ideas and things. Main Twitter, just give it a follow. I just like tweeting funny things sometimes, but go join the raid. I'll see you guys all soon. Maybe tomorrow. I'd love to do another short one tomorrow before I head out to VidCon, which will happen the day after that. And also, after I end the stream, I'm going to go edit my next Afterlife episode. And it's a doozy, so make sure you're subscribed to view that. But it'll be going out tomorrow. Okay, goodbye, everyone.